Hello, this is Ms. Schrader. Today we're going to be talking about Hinduism and Buddhism. Going to be doing a little bit of comparison with it. My students, you're going to be taking notes on this, so you probably want a piece of paper and something to write with. And when you're done, you're going to be giving me 5 sentences telling me what you find the same and what is different on Hinduism and Buddhism. All right, so here's a fact sheet for you. Hinduism is one of the world's oldest religions. It is 4,000 years old. It is the world's 3rd largest religion after Islam and Christianity. It started in India, and the largest number of Hindus still live in India. It is a polytheistic religion. They believe in many gods and has over 1,000 gods, but the main gods of the modern era are Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer. One of the main symbols is Om, pronounced O-M. It's a sacred sound that is considered the greatest sound of all. Its main sacred text is the Vedas. Buddhism grew out of Hinduism about 2,500 years ago. An Indian prince named Siddhartha Gautama became disillusioned with the Hindu pattern of death and rebirth. He developed a belief that by being a good person, you could escape the cycle of death and rebirth and go to nirvana, a peaceful state similar to heaven. His ideas moved from India into China and the Far East, and Buddhism is most popular there. There are 500 million Buddhists throughout the world. And here you have a map showing that most Hindus live in India. There are a smaller amount in other areas, but yeah, most of them live in India. And here is the symbol for Om. So amongst Hindus, you're supposed to be saying that over and over again, Om, and it's supposed to give you peace. Hinduism is a polytheistic religion, believing in many gods, but their 3 main gods are Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer. Hinduism has many books that are used as part of its religion. The main set are the Vedas, and you can see an early copy of it here. One of the main points about Hinduism is the concept of death and rebirth. If you live a good life, after you die, you will be reborn as a higher being, as compared with if you live a bad life, after you are reborn, you will come back as a lower being. So you're a really bad person. When you die, you come back as a cricket. You're a really good person. You come back as a better person, a richer person, perhaps. One of the most famous Hindus of the modern era was Mahatma Gandhi. He's famous for 2 things. He arranged to get Indian independence from the British Empire, and he used nonviolence as his means of achieving his goals. You can see here one of the things that he is saying: whenever you are confronted with an opponent, conquer him with love. Buddhism developed out of Hinduism. About 2,500 years ago, there was an Indian prince by the name of Siddhartha Gautama who was disappointed with the idea of death and rebirth that was offered in Hinduism. He developed a theory, a belief that if you lived a good and peaceful life, you could escape from the cycle of death and rebirth into a very peaceful place called nirvana. And so normally he is shown like this, looking very, very peaceful and serene, focused in. And this is something that most Buddhists will be doing, is meditating in order to get very, very peaceful. While Buddhism is spread all over the world, you can see by this map that mostly Buddhism is in the eastern part of Asia, China, Japan, Southeast Asia. The colors show you the various different types of Buddhism. Also, I need to mention that Buddhism doesn't have a particular god involved. Basically, you can pray to any god you want, so I suppose it is polytheistic. But it deals more with a pattern of life that they feel you should follow. Okay, and one of the things that they feel you should be following if you are a Buddhist is following the Eightfold Path. You can see an example of it here. Might be a little easier to read here. If you have the right mindfulness, the right view, the right intention, if you say the right words, you work on saying, having the right actions, the right livelihood, the way in which you make a living is a good way. You make the right effort and you give the right concentration, then you will be a happier person and live a better life. And within that, you should be following the Four Noble Truths. Life has inevitable suffering. There is a cause for our suffering. There is an end to our suffering. And the end of suffering is contained in the Eightfold Path. Basically, what they're saying is if we follow the Eightfold Path, you won't suffer anymore. There are a variety of sacred books concerning the Buddhism. One of the main ones is the Tapitaka, which you can see here, giving you the basic ideas behind it. One of the most famous leaders of Buddhism in the modern era is the Dalai Lama. He is the leader of the Tibetan Buddhists, and he is also an advocate for peaceful protest and things like that, and he's written quite a few books. There are 5 modern religions that are the main religions of the world today. Most people are members of one of these religions. There are 3 Western religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, and 2 Eastern religions, Hinduism and Buddhism. We've been discussing Hinduism and Buddhism. My students, you are giving me 5 sentences, comparing and contrasting them, telling me what they have in common and what they have that are different. Thank you.